Hello everyone, this is Orhan. In this video, I will be reviewing the basics of Python, namely how to write comments between the codes. So how to put headings and how to put tiny little explanations for us. And then I will be switching to basic mathematical operations. So let's start with headings. Okay, first of all, let's open an empty Jupyter file. So to open a Jupyter file, write Anaconda to your start menu. Start Anaconda Navigator. Once you start the Anaconda Navigator, launch Jupyter. And you will see this screen. First of all, you have to pick the folder where you want to open the Jupyter file. Let's say you want to open here. So go to New and then click on Python 3. And then that will open a file under this folder. But if you want to change the folder, you have to go to that specific folder and open the Python there. So right now I'm opening here. So as you can see, so my folder is called Untitled and it is here. So I'm going to change the name to, so right now you see a headings there. Don't worry about that. I'm going to show you how to create it. But the logic is this. So programmers commonly write end-line comments in their code, so you might want to do it too. And then there might be different parts of your code, so that's why you might need to put some headings, but these headings and comments are not for the coding. It's basically for you to understand, to track, and then to take a look after you code. Comments and headings are really useful. By the way, you can find all the Python codes below the video. So let's start with the headings. So first of all, you have to put this number sign and then a space and then big heading. So if you write this, any kind of heading after the number sign, it's going to be big. If you put two number signs, it's going to be a little smaller. So once you are done, make sure that this is marked down and then click run. So these are going to be headings for your code. Basically, this is going to help you to separate different sections between your codes. If you want to insert a text or comment between the codes, you can choose to use one of these methods. The first one is again markdown menu here. For example, if you write this is a normal text, enter. Now I'm going to use this star asterisk. This text will be in italic, and then don't forget to close it. If you use double star, don't forget to hit enter between the sentences and you run this code. So the first sentence is a normal text, second sentence in italic, and third sentence is in bold. This is by using the markdown here. If you want to select code, you can write codes, and between the sentences you can put some comments. For example, let's write a very basic code, print hello. Here now I'm going to write an explanation here. So this is going to be between the codes. I'm not going to use and switch to markdown menu, so this is going to be easier. Again, put the explanation sign here and then write whatever you want to do. So here I am greeting the readers. So when you run this code, so it's going to write hello here, and it's basically ignoring this comment here. So comments are notes of explanation that documents lines or sections of a program. Comments are part of the program, but the Python interpreter ignores them. So it's not going to be processed. It's going to be ignored. So now let's switch to arithmetic operations. So I'm going to write a title here. Okay, now let's do basic mathematical operations. First of all, addition. So if you write here 3 plus 2, and then when you run it, it's going to give you 5. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. And then now division. When you run the code, it will give you 2. This is going to be floor division. So 7 divided by 2. So it's going to be, if you when you run this code, it will give you 3. It's not 3 point something, so it ignores the decimals. Round it down to the next integer. And then comes the exponent operation. So two asterisks sign together gives you the exponent operator. So if you run this operation, it's going to give you 8. Okay, 2 to the power 3. Comes the logical operators. So the very first one is double equal sign. Is 15 equal to 16? When you run this, it's going to give you a false. So is 15 larger than 14? It's going to give you true. Is 15 smaller than 17? It's going to give you true again. But is 15 less than, for example, 9? And you run this, it will give you false. So these are logical operators that will help you to construct logical operations between your codes. Be very careful. The logical operator for equal sign is this one with double equal sign. So is 15 equal to 17? It's going to give you wrong, false, but it's not 15 is equal to 17. Okay, if you use only one equal sign, that's going to be an assignment. So you are going to assign, which I will show in a moment. So how about not equal to? Is 15 not equal to 16? It's this sign, and it's going to give you true. So 15 is not equal to 16. Okay, so how about one equal sign? One equal sign is it assigns value. So basically you have to pick a variable, let's say x, and write equal 15. So this tells the computer that I'm going to use a variable x, and it's going to be 15 all the time. For example, let me ask what x is to the computer, x, and then run the code. It will give you 15. X plus 1, it's going to give you 16. X times 2, it's going to give you 30. So the difference between this one equal sign and the do equal sign is one of them is logical operator, the other one is assigning the value. Now let's switch to data types. Okay, in Python there are basically 4 data types. The first one is string, second one is float, third one is integer, and then fourth one is boolean. So what is string? String is basically a sequence of characters. For example, let me define a variable to the computer. I'm going to tell it that I'm going to use a variable called a, and it's going to equal to this sequence of characters, which is basically 2 words. Let's say my variable. So it has to be in quotation marks. So when you run this, it's just saving that a is going to be equal to this sentence, this 2 letters. So when you ask what is a and write just a here and then run it, it's going to tell you that it's my variable. So now let's ask what is its type a. So this is a command. Type parenthesis is a command. It's basically giving you the type of the variable. What's the type of a? Run it. str, which means it's a string variable. So you can do a couple of things with string variable. You can calculate their length. For example, length a is a command which gives you the length of your variable. It's 11 characters. So 1, 2, space 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 characters including the space. As strings are sequences of characters, you can use various methods to change the sequence. A method is associated with an object and can operate on data that belongs to that object. Let me show you 2 methods, for example. The first method is going to be upper and the second one is going to be lower. So let me write this as a command. So I'm going to show you 2 methods. The first one is upper, the second one is lower, which basically makes the characters upper letter or lower letter. For example, the variable b is going to be the university. So this is going to be my variable. I'm going to change it as b. Now my new b is going to be my old b times lower. So it's going to make it lower letter. Now the other variable is c. So the variable c is going to be space of North Texas. And new c is going to be old c times upper letter. So I'm going to change this string to an upper letter. So let's run this and then right here b plus c, run the code. The University of North Texas. As you can see, the variable, the string b is in lower letters and the string c, now it's in upper letters. It's basically a method. Okay, this is called a method. Methods are affixed to an object with a period. Okay, now let's ask what is the type of B. So what's the type of B? Type of B is a string. Type of C, it's also a string. So this is the first data type. The second data type is going to be floats. Floats are numbers with integers. Let's use the variable d. D is equal to 5 divided by 2. So this is my new variable. So what is d? Let's ask d. D is 2.5. Now let me ask what is the type of d? As you can see, you're going to see it's float. So any number with decimals is going to be floats. So let's say e, my new variable is 10. Now this is basically an integer. So type of e, what is type of e? When I run the code, it's going to be an integer. And the last one is Boolean. Booleans are true or false. Let's say f is equal to true. So run the code and now ask the type of f. And you will see that this is Boolean. So bool stands for Boolean. Now let me ask you an easy question after you review all of these. The question is this. Assume, for example, that I am defining this variable. X is equal to, in quotation, 10. Y is equal to, in quotation marks, 5. So let's run this. So it's going to know that x is this, y is this. What would Python give me if I ask it x plus y? So just think about this for a second and then write your answer down and then watch me to see the answer. So as you can see, x is not a number, x is a string. So because just I wrote them in quotation marks. So x plus y, if you run this code, you will not see 15, but you will see 10 and 5 together. It's not 105, of course, it's 10 and 5 together. So for example, if you change x to 10 and something, it's going to be giving you 10 and 5 together. So x is string, y is string in this quiz. So let's ask again, what's the type of x? And it will give you that it's string. So it's not a number, it's a string. It's a sequence of characters. So let's do an example to review what we have covered up to now. Okay, now I'm going to define a variable called height. Height equal to 6. So let's run this. So I defined a variable whose name is height, and it's going to be equal to 6. And this variable is an integer. Height is integer. But if I ask, for example, Python to print height, it's going to write height as a word, okay? But let's say if I ask print height without quotation marks, it's going to print 6 because height is a variable right now. Here it's a word, so Python prints whatever is written between the quotation marks, but here it's variable, so it's going to be 6. Or you can combine them both, print height, and then give a space here, and write height is comma height. So the first one is the sentence, second one is the variable. So let's see, run the code, height is 6. Well, this is all about the basics of Python that we are going to use in this class. Basically, in this video, we covered headings, comments, mathematical operations, and logical operations. In the coming video, we will be covering how to import data and how to analyze data, how to describe data, and how to play with the columns and rows of the data. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next videos.